Hey folks, hope you're okay. Welcome back to another Training Tip Tuesday. We are still inside, but we are still bringing you great content. Now, this week's Training Tip Tuesday, I wanted to bring you something upper body. We looked at biceps a couple of weeks ago, so this week I want to look at triceps. We're going to take you through the muscles that are involved, the movement classifications, the exercises, the sets and the reps that we can kind of incorporate into our workouts, and we're also going to look at the common errors of those workouts as well. By the end of it, we want you to have a comprehensive knowledge of what to be doing for everything in terms of the exercises, in terms of the errors, and how you can target your triceps. So we're going to get straight into it. The muscles that we're going to be working and the angles that we're going to be coming from, they're all going to target the muscles a little bit differently. Now with the triceps, we've got three heads. So tri being three, we've got three heads that we need to look at. We've got the long head, which attaches just below the elbow joint, runs up the inside, and it attaches just at the back of the shoulder. We have a medial head that again still connected with the elbow just below. It attaches all the way up and in the humerus, and we've got the lateral head, which again crosses the elbow joint and attaches at the humerus as well. So the medial head and the lateral head both attach on the humerus, whereas the long head attaches at the back of the shoulder. So when we're doing exercises maybe like the shoulder press, we're going to see that the long head is still activated as we're doing the pressing movement. So with shoulder flexion, shoulder extension, we're going to see that the long head is still activating through that movement, which is why we still get tricep activation. Again, like with the bench press, when we've got shoulder flexion, the triceps are going to be working because they're attaching along the shoulder. When we've got shoulder extension, the triceps are going to work as well. So the main things that we're going to look at is going to be the elbow flexion and elbow extension. Okay, so understanding the tricep involvement, when we're going to go into an elbow flexion, the triceps are going to lengthen and the biceps are going to contract. So like we looked with the biceps a couple of weeks ago, in this flexion position here, the triceps have lengthened and the biceps have contracted. As we start to go into the extension and we're pushing down, the elbow is extending and the triceps are contracting. Okay, so we can see them working here as we flex the elbow, biceps contract. As we extend the elbow, the triceps contract. Okay, now it's a great understanding to have. Now that we know that the long head attaches in the shoulder, anything that we do behind the body is going to shorten the long head position and then we're going to get more activation. Anything that's in line, in front or neutral, we're going to get a lot more of the lateral head and the medial head of the triceps. Okay, so in terms of movement classifications, we've gone through the elbow flexion and elbow extension, we've gone through shoulder flexion and shoulder extension, we've gone through the musculature. We're going to get onto the exercises. And the first exercise that I'm going to go through is going to be the tricep kickbacks. The reason why I'm going through the tricep kickbacks, it's probably going to be the easiest one to demonstrate how we get a kind of a contraction from the long head. So in terms of movement position, we're going to go into a flex position at the hips. We're going to take hold of the dumbbell and I'm going to have my forearm perpendicular to the floor. From here, I'm going to press up and back and I'm going to have my arm behind the line of my body. So starting from a perpendicular position with the arm, so that the forearm is perpendicular to the floor, I'm going to press back and I'm going to squeeze my triceps. From here, you're going to see that the arm is behind the body. Nice and controlled, coming back down, pressing on up. Again, the long head is contracting because it's shortened and it's taking the tension to be able to squeeze as we go back and down. That's the first exercise. The second exercise we're going to go through is going to be a close grip bench press or close grip dumbbell press or a close grip push-up. The reason why we're going to go through this one is the arms are in front of the body. We're coming down into a 90-degree bend position. When we get into that 90-degree bend position, we've got that elbow flexion. The triceps are going to be stabilized through the medial portion of the tricep. Okay? So when we go into our pressing movement, the medial portion is taking that tension and it's pushing the elbow away from the body. When we look at a close grip bench press or close grip dumbbell press, as we've got the dumbbells and we're lowering down towards the floor, the medial portion of that tricep is going to be taking the tension. Okay? It's stabilizing the elbow, it's stabilizing the dumbbells, it's stabilizing the movement completely. When we get to the bottom position from here, the medial portion of the triceps and the lateral portion of the triceps, to a degree as well, are going to be used in the contraction phase. The arms aren't really coming below the body too much and it's not incorporating the long head much. So when we start to press, the medial portion and the lateral portion of the triceps are taking the tension and they're going to get a lot of work done here. The great thing with this exercise is we can load up a lot heavier because it's more of a compound exercise, so we can push a lot more weight and overload the triceps a lot more. The final exercise I'm going to talk through, and it's going to be the easiest one to demonstrate here with minimal equipment, is going to be an overhead extension. So with the overhead extension, we're going to take a dumbbell, and I'm going to do it single arm variation as opposed to double. I'm going to take the dumbbell and I'm going to raise it up overhead. From here, because I'm starting to engage more of the lateral portion of my tricep, as I start to lower down, I'm lengthening through the back of the arm. I'm still getting the medial portion to work as well, but that long head is in a lot more of a kind of an extended position, and it's not going to be getting much activation compared to the medial or the lateral head. So as I start to extend now, I'm keeping my core engaged, which is huge obviously here because we're doing a standing dumbbell overhead extension. As we start to lower down, the lateral head and the medial head are taking all the tension, predominantly all the tension, and as we start to press up, the lateral head and the medial head are going to be getting a lot of work. One thing that we always see here, and I'm going to start to go into the common errors now, and I'm going to start with this one, is as we come down, a lot of people will kind of take the elbow out to the side. So from here now, we're going to be seeing a lot more kind of migration of the elbow is the best way to put it, and we end up going into kind of a side extended position, and we're taking a lot of tension away from the elbow. One thing that you can always do here is go where it feels most comfortable. Obviously your range of motion is dependent. If you need to be working on your stretching and stretch out your shoulders, your lats, and your ability to get the arms overhead, then I'd recommend doing that as well. But we want to make sure that the elbow is in a comfortable position, but we're able to keep it relatively close to the body. Okay, from here, if it's extended too far out, we're going to get a little more shoulder activation that we're trying to limit. From here, keeping the elbow relatively close, we're going to press on up and get a lot more medial and lateral head activation. So that's probably the biggest thing to look at in terms of what the elbow and the triceps are doing and the shoulders aren't doing. The second thing to look at with this exercise is when we're in position, as we start to extend, be wary that we don't extend the hips and extend the back to the point where the dumbbell is going up but the hips are going forward, as it's going to place a lot of stress into the lower back that we want to be very wary of. So keeping the stomach nice and tight, and if you need to, you can always go into like a staggered stance, have one foot in front of the other and hold that core tight as we're pressing. In terms of what we need to be looking at in terms of common errors for the tricep press or the close grip bench press or the close grip push-up, one thing that I always look at is come down to about a 90-degree bend. Okay, you're trying to keep a 90-degree bend in the elbows. So we've got the wrist stacked over the elbow and we've got the hands nice and strong position. If you need to go into, if you're in a push-up position, make sure you're kind of pressing through all four corners of the palm, and as you press, you want to be extending the elbow to the kind of fullest position possible, squeezing the triceps as you go. If you're losing tension away from the triceps and it's going into the chest, you might just find a little bit of weakness in there. You might need to drop the load down and concentrate on the form and concentrate on the triceps doing the work. Second thing that I would always look at is bouncing off the chest. Be very wary that when we're lowering down, especially when we're doing a close grip bench press, that the bar doesn't hit the chest and bounces back up. Okay, it's taking a lot of tension away from the triceps, placing undue stress into the shoulders that we don't need. The final thing that I would look at with your close grip bench press is making sure that we're not arching the back too much, and we're making sure that the shoulders are protracted, or retracted should I say, not protracted, because when we're coming down, if they're protracted, the tension's going into the front of the shoulders. When it's retracted, we're allowing the tension to stay in the correct positions and not in joints that we don't need it to be in. The final one is when we're doing your kickbacks, that again, as we're extending, we're starting from a perpendicular position, we're pressing on up, we're not allowing the weight to swing like an inverted bicep curl or prone bicep curl, should I say, and we're just kind of allowing that perpendicular position to the squeeze and back down. There's no swing that's taking the tension away from the movement or cheating the movement, and we're just enabling the tricep to do the work in terms of pressing from that 90-degree position or that perpendicular position. The final thing that I would say with the tricep extension is when we're in position, as we get to the top, very much try and be wary that we're not kind of extending the shoulder joint round and rounding the shoulder joint as we're trying to get the dumbbell higher. Okay, concentrate on taking the hand as high as you can, squeezing the tricep, as opposed to trying to get the dumbbell higher and potentially rounding at the shoulder. So make sure that we're keeping posture nice and strong, extend the elbow, squeeze the long head as much as you can with that tension. When we're done, you can come back up from that position. So the main thing there is make sure that you're getting the right muscles to work in the right sequence, avoid the common errors that we just discussed for each exercise, and make sure you're targeting the muscle effectively. Folks, that's this week's Training Tip Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been an absolute pleasure talking about the triceps, understanding how they work, and kind of going through that movement. If you did like the video, go ahead and tap that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out all the other videos in the series, wherever I pop that link button. And make sure you subscribe, stay up to date with everything that we're putting out. And if there's anything that you would like to see, post your comments down below, send us a message, connect with us on Instagram, connect with us on Facebook, and just make sure that you're staying up to date with the content that we're putting out to help you not only develop the best physique that you can, but build a kind of a training program and a workout plan that for you that is strong, that is with knowledge, rather than just kind of throwing exercises in together, because that's what we're about here. It's about giving you the knowledge to be able to perform it, that you can do it on your own as well. Folks, thank you very much for checking this video out. I'll see you all next week for another Training Tip Tuesday. Peace out.